I think what the game took so many years to come through consciously was because I would not participate in life. I was a spectator. I had developed the art of spectatorship to an Olympic level. I watched my siblings, my family. Is it safe? Is the community? Let me just suss it all out. I'll just watch from here and go. Not visible, not verbal, not vulnerable, not truly myself. The end. I had to get through that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I go, because you can't, you're a facilitator. You can't, what do they say in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous? You can only sponsor a person to the degree of your own sobriety.
Yes.
One comes into the game and they're wounded. We're all wounded. And you don't know how far out on a branch of a tree they're going to go. And you can only go so far. So do you know what I mean? If you've only allowed certain things in your own spectrum, for a long time, I only had white, same age as me, what do you call it? Heterosexual men and women. Then I got into areas that scare me a bit more because I've explored them a bit more. And people not treating other people nicely, and people wanting sadomasochism or something like that. And it, otherwise I hope I'm being clear. And when you start doing games, you only have people that you can cope with. You won't have someone that intimidates you so much or is such a anti this or pro that, that's going on in the world at the moment. All these government decisions. I'm right wing, I'm left wing, I'm pro this, I'm anti that. And you won't have people in your game that you can't stay in a loving space with. They just won't come to you. So I'm very happy when I get someone that I go, oh my goodness, they're older than me, they're wiser than me. I was scared going into this group of next generation, 20-somethings, just going to think I'm an old person. And they're so much more evolved than I was. I was just arguing in my 20s. And I was 33 when the game came through. So, so I was intimidated by them. I'm sure much. So I'm just saying, you never get over it. You never get over it. It's always reconnecting to something deep inside that can rewrite one's script. Because what happened to me in the hospital, I am light, I am loved. I had a completely different identity. And I would say most people, all of us, we have a history, we have a family, we have wounds, we have ancestors, we've inherited beliefs, and we have a script. But the medicine is, part of that can be poisonous. And because we might have been fed lies, or it's something that happened from a very wounded place. And it's our job to rewrite the script from a whole and happy place. So this is like breakdown, breakthrough. It's delete the movie, repair it. I am whole. I am unboxed. I am free. I am happy and holy and free. And in some way, we're transmuting all that. So there's playing the game, and then there's living the game. And I am blessed and on some days burdened with the game Deva is embossed in my cells. don't think it's tattooed. Tattoo is ink on the surface, an embossing in my neutrons, electrons, and protons. I'm never not living the game. I get very uncomfortable when I'm unconscious. Very uncomfortable. I mean, I just get like that in my head. I go, oh, I've really hurt someone, or I've spoken inappropriately. I've judged. A lot of it is self-judgment, self-diminishment, self-depreciation. And I know how I was brought up. I've got a voice in me that is happy to keep. The best square in the game is the appreciation square. I hope anybody who's got a game or gets a game, it's a harmless little square. Harmless, little smiling face, just says, say what you value or like about a person recently. Do you like their hairstyle? Do you like their humor? What do you like? What do you like about yourself? Tell me something you like recent. And people struggle and cry and, to try and live that in one's everyday life. It's been a real pilgrimage for me. So we can do the squares over and over again. I don't even think I said what the game was. Big picture, Shadowland, what's in the way, another insight for what's the resource, what can bring me up. It's like, what do you call it? A shower. It's just like a purification. It's a pulsation. There are deeper patterns of engagement that you and I and people listening to this need to generate and live into before we die. Deeper patterns, wiser, broader spectrum than our parents had, or my parents had. So game isn't a game at all. It's a sensitizing device that celebrates what a blessing you are, what a blessing everyone is, and just says everything in the way, or I've revealed everything this afternoon. My arguments, I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified enough, I'm not pretty enough, whatever it is, we have to resolve that, release that, whatever's in the way of our being the most contribution we can give, and that's it. It's always live your holiness. Live both your wholeness and your holiness. So people come, they do the game, and it works one-to-one, of course. It also works in a group, and in a group, and then in a bigger group. And then when we do internationally, then we have the soul of that country and the soul of this country. Very different, very different. And I didn't look up about the history of the Hungarian soul, but I'm sure someone will enlighten you or enlighten me. But what I wanted to say was somehow, I can't remember what I would say, but we have to make this a spiritual renaissance. We really have to ground what we've been given. So now let me see. So bottom line.
Yes, I think you gave us a big, complex picture about the transformation game.
I did. I went on and on. I told you. When someone asked me this, I went on for 2.5 hours, and I said, don't ask me. There's a lot of this written. People can read about it on the Fintorn Foundation website or your site or the Transformation Game. But so I would say stop arguing. Stop using excuses why you can't do this, that, and the other. And and just let everything settle down. It is because of your ordinariness. It's because of your particular woundedness. It's because of what you're breaking through that you can reach the people you reach. See, I can't reach the people you do. You can't reach the people. Do you know what I mean? We all have a circle of influence. And the whole thing with me, which is why I've told my story, it comes down to surrender, surrender, surrender.